My wife invited my best friend to our anniversary weekend. She said it would be fun. What she didn't know was that I'd been recording everything for weeks, and that night I heard them planning exactly how they were going to destroy me. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below and subscribe to this channel for more cheating wife stories on YouTube.
Try this tea, honey. I made it with that herbal blend you like.
My wife Rachel handed me the steaming cup with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I stared at her, my chest tightening. We were supposed to be celebrating our anniversary at this lakeside cabin in northern Wisconsin, but something felt deeply wrong. "What's in it?" I asked, sniffing the cup carefully. There was something off about the smell, a faint bitterness underneath the chamomile that I couldn't quite place. My name is Michael, and at 45, I never imagined I'd be questioning whether my own wife was trying to poison me. But after months of mysterious stomach problems, unexplained dizzy spells, and 2 terrifying trips to the emergency room, I had learned to be cautious about everything she prepared for me. My best friend since kindergarten, Derek, was lounging on the couch across the room, scrolling through his phone like he belonged here. Rachel had insisted on inviting him to our anniversary weekend.
He's been going through a rough patch since his divorce,
she'd explained when I questioned it.
Besides, it'll be fun, like old times.
But nothing about this felt like old times. Derek had been spending an awful lot of time with my wife lately, always showing up when I was at work, always leaving just before I got home.
Just drink it, Michael. You've been so tense lately.
Her tone had an edge to it, the same impatient edge I'd noticed more and more since I'd started asking questions about the new life insurance policy she'd taken out on me 6 months ago. $2 million. I only found out by accident when the paperwork arrived at the house while she was out with Derek. 2 million reasons to want me dead. My stomach twisted as I remembered last month's emergency room visit. Severe nausea, heart palpitations, confusion so bad I couldn't remember my own address. The doctors ran every test they could think of, but couldn't explain it. And the episode before that, right after Rachel made me her special smoothie to celebrate my promotion at work. The pattern was becoming impossible to ignore, no matter how much I wanted to believe I was being paranoid. I lifted the cup to my lips, pretending to take a long sip while watching their reflections in the dark window. Rachel and Derek exchanged a quick glance across the room. Brief, almost invisible, but I caught it. That was all I needed to see. "I'm going to step outside for some air," I said, standing up with the cup still in my hand. The drive up here really wiped me out. Must be coming down with something. Rachel nodded, a little too quickly.
Of course, honey. Fresh air will do you good.
On the deck, I quickly poured most of the tea into an empty water bottle I'd stashed in my jacket pocket earlier. I'd been collecting samples for weeks now, ever since I started connecting the dots between my mysterious illnesses and the drinks Rachel lovingly prepared. This one was going straight to a private lab, along with the others. When I came back inside, I made a show of setting down the nearly empty cup on the kitchen counter. "That was good," I said, forcing a yawn. "I think I'll lie down for a bit. Wake me for dinner?" Rachel smiled, but there was something predatory in it now that I knew what to look for.
Of course, honey. Rest up. We have a big weekend planned.
She glanced at Derek again, and I pretended not to notice. I went to the bedroom and closed the door most of the way, leaving it cracked just enough. Then I set my phone to record and positioned it where the microphone could pick up sounds from the main room. I lay on the bed, perfectly still, controlling my breathing. 20 minutes passed. 30. Then I heard them moving to the kitchen, speaking in low voices.
Did he drink it all?
Derek's voice was low but clear enough.
Most of it. Should be enough.
Rachel sounded impatient, annoyed.
The Ambien mixed with the blood thinners should make him drowsy and disoriented by morning. Tomorrow, we take him kayaking on the lake. He falls in, hits his head on a rock. Simple accident. Grieving widow collects $2 million.
My blood ran cold. This wasn't about making me sick anymore. They were planning to, oh my God, tomorrow morning, in less than 12 hours. And the man helping her was someone I'd known my entire life. Someone I'd trusted like a brother.
And you're sure the other doses weakened him enough?
Derek asked, his voice carrying a hint of nervousness. 6 months of mixing crushed pills into his food, his coffee, his protein shakes. His blood pressure is all over the place. His reflexes are shot. Even if he tried to swim, he wouldn't make it. The cold water, the confusion from the drugs, the head injury. It'll look like a tragic accident. Derek laughed softly.
And after we split the money?
Costa Rica, baby. I already found a place. New names, new life, new everything. Just like we planned.
I heard them kiss, a long, lingering sound that made my skin crawl. 6 months. She'd been poisoning me for 6 months, while sleeping with my best friend since childhood. The two people I'd trusted most in this world were literally trying to end my life. I waited until they went to bed, their muffled laughter eventually fading into silence. Then I slipped out of the cabin through the back door, with my keys, my phone, and the evidence. The nearest police station was 40 minutes away through winding forest roads, and I drove through the darkness with my heart pounding. Detective Morrison was working the night shift at the county sheriff's office. She was a woman in her 50s, with tired eyes that sharpened immediately when I explained why I was there. She listened to the recording twice, her expression growing darker with each word.
Mr. Carter,
She said slowly,
how long have you suspected this?
about 3 months. After my second trip to the ER, I started keeping track of everything. I showed her my phone with the detailed log I'd been maintaining. Dates, symptoms, what I'd eaten or drunk beforehand, who had prepared it. I also have samples from 4 different drinks she made me over the past few weeks. I was planning to get them tested next Monday, but then she suggested this cabin trip and I knew something was wrong. The detective nodded slowly, already reaching for her radio.
We'll need those samples, and we'll need to move fast if they're planning something for tomorrow morning.
At dawn, I led the police convoy back to the cabin. Rachel and Derek were still asleep when the officers knocked on the door. I watched from the back of a patrol car as they were brought out in handcuffs, both of them squinting in the early morning light, confusion giving way to terror when they saw me standing there. Very much alive. Very much alert.
Michael!
Rachel screamed, struggling against the officer holding her arms.
This is insane. Whatever you think you heard.
I didn't just hear it, Rachel. I recorded every word. The Ambien, the blood thinners, the kayak accident. Costa Rica, all of it. I stepped closer, close enough to see the color drain from her face, and her mask finally cracked, rage replacing the fear.
You were never supposed to figure it out. You were supposed to be too sick and confused to notice anything. 6 months of careful dosing, and you just kept going to work, kept asking questions, kept being suspicious.
So you decided to speed things up, make it permanent. Derek finally found his voice, panic making it crack.
Mike, listen to me. This is all her idea. She came to me, said you were treating her badly, said she needed help.
Help? I stared at the man I'd known since we were 5 years old. You've been sleeping with my wife and helping her poison me for 6 months. That's not help, Derek. That's betrayal. Rachel turned on him instantly.
Shut up. Don't you dare put this on me. You wanted the money just as bad as I did.
She's the one who researched everything.
Derek continued desperately, ignoring her.
She ordered the sleeping pills from 3 different online pharmacies so no one would notice. She crushed them herself, measured the doses.
You just helped her. 30 years of friendship, and that's what it was worth to you. Half of $2 million. Detective Morrison stepped between us.
We'll sort out who did what at the station. You both have the right to remain silent, and I strongly suggest you use it.
As they were loaded into separate patrol cars, I stood on the cabin porch, watching the sun rise over the lake. The same lake where I was supposed to drown in a few hours. The water looked peaceful, golden in the morning light. Beautiful, even. It would have been the last thing I ever saw. The investigation uncovered everything. Rachel's laptop had months of damning search history. How much Ambien causes confusion, blood thinner overdose symptoms, accidental drowning statistics, how long before widow can collect life insurance. Her credit card statements showed purchases from multiple online pharmacies, all shipped to Derek's apartment. They found crushed pill residue in containers in our kitchen at home, hidden in the back of the pantry behind the protein powder she knew I used every morning. The lab results from my samples confirmed what I'd suspected, a dangerous combination of sedatives and anticoagulants, carefully calibrated to cause confusion and weakness without being immediately lethal, enough to make me an easy target for a tragic accident. The trial lasted 2 weeks. The prosecution painted a clear picture, a calculated conspiracy between a cheating wife and her husband's lifelong best friend to murder an unsuspecting man for insurance money. Rachel's lawyer tried to claim she'd been manipulated by Derek. Derek's lawyer tried to claim he barely understood what was happening. Neither defense held up against the recordings, the search history, the pharmacy records, and the lab results showing exactly what had been put in my body for 6 months.
The evidence shows a methodical, months-long poisoning scheme,
The prosecutor argued in her closing statement.
followed by a meticulously planned murder staged to look like an accident. This wasn't a crime of passion. This wasn't a moment of weakness. This was premeditated and for financial gain, carried out by 2 people the victim trusted completely.
Both were found guilty on all counts. Rachel got 15 years. Derek got 12. The judge called it a chilling example of intimate betrayal taken to its ultimate extreme. I watched them being led away in handcuffs and felt nothing but relief. Not satisfaction, not revenge, not even anger anymore. Just the quiet knowledge that I'd survived something I was never supposed to survive. 8 months later, I was sitting on the deck of my new apartment in Milwaukee, grilling steaks with my coworker Tom. The evening news played quietly through the open window behind us. A brief story about Rachel's appeal being denied flashed across the screen. Tom glanced at the TV, then back at me.
You okay, man?
Yeah. I flipped the steaks, watching the flames dance. I really am.
You ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't figured it out?
I'd thought about it plenty. The kayak tipping over in cold water. My drugged body too weak and confused to swim. Rachel playing the devastated widow at my funeral. Derek standing beside her, pretending to grieve the best friend he'd helped murder. The 2 of them waiting a respectable few months before disappearing together with my $2 million to start their new life in Costa Rica. I try not to dwell on it, I said finally. What I think about instead is this. Pay attention when something feels wrong. Your body knows before your mind does. Your gut knows before you have proof. Don't let anyone, especially the people closest to you, convince you that you're imagining things. Tom raised his beer bottle.
To trusting your gut.
To trusting your gut. We clinked bottles as the sun set over the city skyline. My phone buzzed with a text, but I didn't check it. Whatever it was could wait. I'd spent too long letting other people's agendas control my life. Now, every moment felt like a gift I'd almost lost. I turned off the TV, enjoyed my steak, and watched the stars come out over a life I'd nearly had stolen from me. Some chapters end in tragedy. But mine? Mine was just getting started. Thank you for listening. Like the video and subscribe for more cheating wife stories on YouTube and inspirational stories about finding the strength to start over.